So in previous lecture, means in previous practical, we discussed regarding syllabus. Okay. So we'll start our first chapter regarding solar energy. Okay. Okay. So as I said earlier, we have to discuss regarding what are the different aspects of power generation by using these non-conventional energy sources. Okay. So if we gone through the history of this renewable energy, so the solar energy, either the direct usage type or the solar energy in the form of thermal section, solar photovoltaic cell, hydropower energy, wind power, then tidal energy, bioenergy, wave energy, geothermal energy. So all these energy sources are comes under the renewable energy category. Okay. So when we gone through the global type of energy consumption system, so when we compare your oil source, natural gas source, or the coal, nuclear, and leading sources of any energy, then according to data of 2002, the maximum consumptions of fuel by using all these sources, oil, natural gas, coal, nuclear power, or hydro section. So total share is near about 24 to 25% for the developed country. So when we compare this developed country, that is USA, with respect to India, then the percentage of total shares is reduced up to 3.5%. So for that reason, to fulfill future demand of the power supply, we required some amount of or some types of different energy sources so that we can use these sources accordingly to develop the power. Okay. So what is the need to develop the alternative energy sources or non-conventional energy sources? All of you aware about the current changing scenario of your petrol or the conventional sources. So for that reason, the government has recorded very high priority to develop and expand the install capacity based through the non-conventional energy sources for the generation of electricity basically. Okay, so for that reason we have a separate ministry to promote such type of energy sources. Okay, so need is the oil or gases or the coal which cause the air pollution. Okay, so it affect directly for the global warming and the climate change. Okay, it also increase the level of sea. Okay, it impact on the life of plant. Okay, it cause some health problem. So for that reason, we promote the non-conventional energy sources. So what is the different conditions or today's condition of non-conventional energy sources? So when we gone through the solar energy, okay, so for the power generation by using the solar, or when we use solar sun as a power generation device, we can say that. So in that case, okay, in India, we have near about 30 35 crystal clear days, so that we can generate electricity by using sun. Okay, so we have to or we have to develop, we have to produce near about 30 megawatt per square kilometer in India to promote the solar energy. Okay, so for that is a different grid type, as I said earlier, ग्रीड सिस्टीम ऑन ग्रीड असेल किंवा ऑफ ग्रीड असेल, या सर्व सोलर सिस्टीम आपण इन्व्हेंट केलेलं आहे, सो दॅट वी कॅन प्रमोट दी कमर्शियल or household people to install the solar system. Okay. So we'll go through the solar energy first. So all of you aware about how solar energy is emitted. Okay. So basically thermonuclear fusion reaction takes place, and from this nuclear the tremendous amount is generated, and this is passed towards the planet. Okay, so different electromagnetic radiation like visible light, infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays, or radio waves. Different type of energy or electromagnetic radiation is emitted towards the Earth. So the total energy or the total radiation which is emitted from the sun, we just take the fraction of that amount to generate the electricity. Okay, so we required small amount of heat to generate the electricity from the sun. Okay, so this is the wavelength radiation which is emitted by the sun. So different types of radiation like X-rays, UV or infrared light, microwaves, radio waves, different spectrums of light is emitted by the sun. We required some small portion out of that. Okay. The picture of solar radiation is towards the tire radiation, then diffuse radiation, and the reflected radiation. Okay, so basically the reflected radiation promote the to increase the atmospheric temperature. Okay, so according to research, so near about 47% of total solar energy is reached to the earth. Okay, so out of total energy required, near about 50%, we can say about 50% of energy we required, which is received from the sun. So when we compare the solar energy with respect to other non-conventional energy sources like fossil, biofuels, hydro-based, nuclear, or wind, so it take 0.8% of the shares. Okay, so out of those 6 type of energy, we have contribution of 0.8%. So why we use solar here to promote such a type of non-conventional energy sources, so that we can sustain in the world market of the power generation. We need the conventional energy sources. So that is the government introduce this separate ministry for non-conventional energy sources. Okay. Again, it is silent power generation, non-polluting. So for that reason, so there are different types in that we can use the solar energy. So either in the form of solar thermal energy, solar heating मध्ये solar water heater असेल, solar space heating असेल, solar space cooling असेल. Okay, then electricity generation by using solar concentrator किंवा photovoltaic cells. या सर्व फॉर्म्स मधनं मी सोलर एनर्जी ऍज अ पॉवर जनरेशन डिव्हाइस ओके म्हणून यूज करतो. So the first is solar thermal energy. Okay, so it involves basically the harvesting of energy from the sun for the heating water or to producing the electrical power. Okay, so we use some types of collector, that is flat plate collector or evacuated tube type collector or integral collector storage system type मध्ये. या टाइपच्या कलेक्टरने मी काय करतोय, जी काही एनर्जी असेल ती हिटिंग साठी यूज करतोय. So for example, this is the picture of solar flat plate collector. Okay, so these flat plate collectors are used for the low temperature applications, basically in the range from normal temperature, means ambient temperature, up to the 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, so if the working fluid absorb the heat or absorbing heat is liquid. Okay, आपण जर लिक्विड ची किंवा लिक्विडला हीट absorbingला यूज करत असेल, so such collector is called as liquid flat plate collector. Liquid flat plate collector, when the liquid is moving or liquid is heated inside this flat plate. Okay, so they are basically used for the low temperature applications like solar water heating, space heating or space cooling, drying, then low temperature power. ह्या केस solar flat plate collector use करतो. Okay, so when we use it as a liquid flat plate collector. ओके, लिक्विड फ्लॅट प्लेट कलेक्टर. त्यामध्ये काय असणार तुमचं लिक्विड करतोय. Okay, just go through this picture. It has a solar glass on the very first channel. So this is the braided type of use. Okay, this is the solar glass. Then this is the absorber material. Then this total is housing. The insulation is provided. Okay, here is a water outlet. One type is water inlet. So this is a braided views of this the water for the heated purpose. So it consists of basically the one. So this upper case is transparent cover, so that safe from the any foreign contaminant. This these will fail after the leakage. ओके, सोलर कलेक्टर चेंज करण्यापेक्षा ही एक ग्लास चेंज करणं. ओके, then absorber plate to absorb all the radiation. Then tube, these are the tubes that are fixed into the absorber place.
सर व्हॉइस ब्रेक होतोय तुमचा खूप.
Okay. So it consists of the total box type of structure. एक टोटल बॉक्स असेल ब्लॅक कलरचा. त्या ब्लॉक्स मध्ये किंवा त्या ब्लॉक मध्ये सर्व जे काही मेन इलिमेंट असेल तुमचा सोलर फ्लॅट प्लेट किंवा सोलर कलेक्टर. ओके, कलेक्टर जी काही हीट मी ऍब्झॉर्ब करतोय ती हीट मी ट्रान्सफर करतो to the incoming water, so that it is used to exchange the heat, and the ambient temperature water is converted into particular temperized water, and this type of water we use for the any application purpose. So it is a box type of structure, basically consists of absorber plate. Okay, so with absorber plate which receives beam as well as diffuse the solar radiations through the transparent glass covers. Okay, so the liquid tubes or the tubes are a place inside your solar absorber, and solar flat collector. In between those two things, the liquid tubes are placed. Okay, so when the liquid start flowing from this portion, so when we consider the temperature of at this point of the liquid is the atmospheric temperature or the ambient temperatures, then at this portion the temperature of liquid is goes to increased up to certain level till the radiation or absorbed heat is capable to increase the temperature of that water. Okay, रेडिएशन आतमध्ये आल्यानंतर आतमध्ये जी ब्लॅक बॉडी असेल, इट विल जनरेट the amount of heat and this increased heat is used to increase the temperature of raw water. Okay, so this is the fundamental principle of the liquid flat plate collector. Another type is the flat solar air heater. So what is flat plate solar air heater? So very similar to this liquid flat plate collector. Instead of the water tubing, we just place the hollow pipe so that from the one end we supply the atmospheric temperature air, and at the another point, because of exchange of heat between the solar radiation and the air, the temperature of air goes on increasing. Okay, so we use this type of system as a flat plate air heater or flat plate solar air heater. Okay, so this type of system basically used as a air heater in drying for the agriculture purpose. एक 5 मिनिट हा. Evacuated tube collector. ओके. तुमच्या घरी जे काही सोलर वॉटर हीटर बोललेलं असतं, सोलर वॉटर हीटरच आहे, but technically it is called as evacuated tube type of collector. Okay, evacuated tube type of collector or ETC. ETC. So it consists of basically the copper manifold. So this is the copper manifold, or we can call it as a heat exchanger. So from one end, the cold water is supplied, and second case, the tube which is placed on this heat exchanger is called as evacuated tube. So it is the cylindrical in section, and inside that there is a heat pipe. Okay, there is a heat pipe. Heat pipe is used to exchange the heat. Just the principle is based on the solar radiation. Okay. So it consists of basically two concentric cylindrical tube. Then the space between the tube is evacuated. Okay. Space between tube is evacuated, and this type of tube are fixed on the flat plate. So inner tube is filled with the cold water, receive the solar radiation. So this heat is again transferred towards the water, and because of thermosiphon circulation, the heat is transferred towards the cold water, and temperature of the cold water goes on increasing. So because of this vacuum, it reduces the heat loss because of the convection. Okay. So because of that, it improves the efficiency of this flat plate collector or evacuated type of flat plate collector. Simple in construction. फक्त एक hollow tube असेल without any air evacuated केलेले असेल. So from one point the cold water is supplied, and at the second case hot water is coming out because of exchange of heat between the solar radiation and the water. Okay. So it absorbs the direct or diffuse reflected component of solar radiation. Okay. It is basically low cost and the maintenance free. म्हणजे तुमचं जे काही वॉटर सॉल्ट त्यानुसार किती अमाऊंट ऑफ सॉल्ट कंटेन आहे त्यानुसार त्याचा मेंटेनन्स हा ठरलेला असतो. अदरवाइज देर इज नो सच टाइप ऑफ मेंटेनन्स इज रिक्वायर्ड. ओके. सो what are the different constructional or materials element for the flat plate collector? Okay, so material is basically classified according to how physical properties needed, like your tensile strength or density, then thermal properties like thermal conductivity, heat capacity, etc. Environmental properties असतील, corrosion resistant, त्यानंतर अल्ट्रावायलेट रेडिएशन असेल, त्यामुळे मटेरियल किती अमाऊंट मध्ये डॅमेज व्हायला पाहिजे किंवा नकोय. देन मॉइश्चर पेनिट्रेशन. Okay, so basically the material which is used for the absorber plate should have high tensile strength. Absorber plate साठी टेन्साइल स्ट्रेंथ जास्त पाहिजे. नंतर तुमची थर्मल कंडक्टिव्हिटी जी असेल ती हाय पाहिजे. आणि इट शुड बी करोजन रेजिस्टंट. ओके. त्याची जी काही थिकनेस आहे ती थिकनेस नियर अबाउट 0.2 to 1 mm पर्यंत आहे. ओके. तो ऍब्झॉर्बर प्लेट अँड ट्यूब या ज्या काय असतील या जनरली कॉपर, अल्युमिनियम किंवा स्टीलच्या बनवलेल्या असतात. ओके. And this absorber plate is coated with the black paint because of high absorptivity. The black chrome केलेलं असेल, black copper oxide असेल, black nickel असेल, हे coating साठी यूज करतात so that we can achieve maximum heating. Okay. ट्यूबची साईज जर बघितली is near about 1 centimeter टू 1.5 सेंटीमीटर पर्यंत असते. ओके. आणि कनेक्शन जे असते, हे जे काही ट्यूब्स आहेत त्या तुम्ही हीट एक्सचेंजरला कनेक्ट केलेले आहे. सो दॅट कनेक्शन इज प्रोव्हाइडेड बाय आयदर सोल्डरिंग किंवा ब्रांझिंग किंवा वेल्डिंग किंवा प्रेशर वेल्डिंग ते सोल्ड केलेलं असेल, सो दॅट द मिनिमम लॉसेस कॅन बी टेकन प्लेस. ओके. द फ्लॅट प्लेटचे परत काही टाइप्स आहे फिक्स करण्याचे. मग ते अदर पाईप अँड फिन्स असतील किंवा सँडविच टाईप मध्ये असतील किंवा सेमी सँडविच असेल. ओके. So this is the total views of how your solar water heater look like. Okay, so basically it consists of the glazing sheet for the upper case, then the sealed section, aluminum insulation, then heat absorbing large copper tube binder. Okay, so from one point the cold water is supplied. This water is circulating inside the structure. By absorbing heat, it is again supplied towards the storage tank. Simple in construction. Okay. So your solar water heater is classified as passive system or the active system. पॅसिव्ह सिस्टीम जे असेल त्यामध्ये तुमचा थर्मोसायफन इफेक्ट यूज केलेला असेल किंवा कलेक्टर टाइप स्टोरेज सिस्टीम असेल. आणि ऍक्टिव्ह मध्ये असेल तर डायरेक्ट सर्क्युलेशन ऑफ वॉटर. ओके. किंवा इनडायरेक्ट सर्क्युलेशन ऑफ वॉटर आणि हॉट एअर सिस्टीम, या दोन टाईप मध्ये तुमचं वॉटर हिटिंग सिस्टीम ही क्लासिफाय केलेली आहे. डायरेक्ट किंवा इनडायरेक्ट किंवा ऍक्टिव्ह किंवा पॅसिव्ह सिस्टीम मध्ये. So it is a comparison type of picture of passive solar water heater or active solar water heater. Okay, what is the difference between those two pictures? So in first case, that is the passive solar water heater. त्यामध्ये कोल्ड वॉटर वन साइडने इन होईल. जे काही कलेक्टर पॅनल असेल, जे काही कलेक्टर पॅनलचं जे काही स्ट्रक्चर असेल त्यानुसार वॉटरची डेन्सिटी चेंज होईल बिकॉज ऑफ इन्क्रीजिंग द टेम्परेचर, बिकॉज ऑफ द इन्क्रीजिंग टेम्परेचर. मग ते टेम्परेचर इन्क्रीज झाल्यामुळे वॉटरचा फ्लो असेल तो वरती ट्रॅव्हल होईल अँड द हॉट वॉटर इज अगेन सर्क्युलेटेड टुवर्ड्स द ऍप्लिकेशन. So this is the passive type of system. The active type of system मध्ये जर बघितलं, so there is a separate circulation pump is provided to force the water towards the collector plate. Okay, as the height difference of passive and active solar system, or because of the height difference, the normal temperature water cannot supply towards the particular height without any external equipment. So because of that, the pump is needed. Then from one flat plate collector, the water is supplied towards the second. To achieve the maximum efficiency, there is a thermostat control valve to maintain the temperature of the water. Okay. Then hot water is directly supplied towards the tank. आता ह्या दोघांमध्ये जर डिफरन्स बघितला तर फर्स्ट केस मध्ये फ्लॅट प्लेट कलेक्टर असेल किंवा जे काही सोलर रेडिएशन कलेक्टर असेल ते मी टँक सोबतच कनेक्ट केलेलं आहे. सो दॅट मी डोंट रिक्वायर्ड एनी एक्सटर्नल इक्विपमेंट. सेकंड केस मध्ये मी इफिशियन्सी इन्क्रीज करण्यासाठी एक त्याला पर्टिक्युलर हाईट वरती इन्स्टॉल केलं आणि मी इफिशियन्सी इन्क्रीज केली बट बाय युझिंग एक्सटर्नल ऑक्झिलरीज. ओके.